Hi, and welcome back to Arno TV. I'm your lovable host Arno, coming back to you with another video. Now, we're going to continue straight on from yesterday. What was I saying yesterday? That I wouldn't be surprised at all in the not too distant future that much tougher measures were coming into place, okay? And what's happened today? We've had an announcement, haven't we, from Johnson this afternoon, telling us that London and huge parts of the southeast are now going into a new tier number 4, an even higher tier, because in the southeast and London, this new strain of the virus is going rampant down there, and it's spreading like wildfire, okay? And it's accounting for huge numbers of cases, okay? And what's happened? Johnson has basically, in this new tier, it is effectively a full lockdown like we had in the national lockdown in November. So for millions of people, Christmas has been cancelled, completely cancelled, okay? That's what's happened today, okay? That's exactly what has happened today. This 5 days of freedom that we were supposed to be having, okay, in the tier 4 areas, that's been cancelled, okay? And you're not allowed to see anybody from outside your own household, and travel has been banned from tier 4 into other parts of England, okay? So this is what's going on, people. This is what's going on. These people are hell-bent on locking us down. I'm telling you, you know, we could see this coming all along. So what we're going to do is we are going to talk about this further, okay? But first of all, we're going to go over to the internet and we're going to look at what Johnson said today, okay, in that speech a couple of hours ago. So let's just go and have a look at that and see what he's got to say for himself, okay? I'm just going to turn the music down and then we're going to come back after listening to what this pathetic Prime Minister has to say, okay?
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining the latest coronavirus press conference. Yesterday afternoon, I was briefed on the latest data that shows the virus spreading more rapidly in London, the southeast and the east of England than would be expected, given the tough restrictions that are already in place. And I also received an explanation for why the virus is spreading more rapidly in these areas. It seems that the spread is now being driven by the new variant of the virus, which we spoke about earlier this week and learned about earlier this week. Our advisory group on new and emerging respiratory virus threats, NERVTAG, has spent the last few days analysing this new variant. There's no evidence that it causes more severe illness or higher mortality, but it does appear to be passed on significantly more easily. NERVTAG's early analysis suggests the new variant could increase the R by 0.4 or more, and although there's considerable uncertainty, it may be up to 70% more transmissible than the old variant, the original version of the disease. This is early data and it's subject to review, but it's the best that we have at the moment, and we have to act on information as we have it, because this is now spreading very fast. The UK has by far the best genomic sequencing ability in the world, which means we're better able to identify new strains like this than any other country. The Chief Medical Officer last night submitted our findings so far to the World Health Organization, and will continue to be totally transparent with our global partners. There's still much that we don't know. While we're fairly certain the variant is transmitted more quickly, there's no evidence to suggest it is more lethal or causes more severe illness. Equally, there's no evidence to suggest the vaccine will be any less effective against the new variant. Our experts will continue their work to improve our understanding as fast as we can. So we're learning about it as we go, but we already know enough, more than enough, to be sure that we must act now. So I met ministers on the COVID Operations Committee last night, and again first thing this morning. Cabinet met at lunchtime to agree the following actions. First, we will introduce new restrictions in the most affected areas, specifically those parts of London, the South East and the East of England, which are currently in Tier 3. These areas will enter a new Tier 4, which will be broadly equivalent to the national restrictions which were in place in England in November. That means residents in those areas must stay at home, apart from limited exemptions set out in law. Non-essential retail, indoor gyms and leisure facilities and personal care services must close. People must work from home if they can, but may travel to work if this is not possible, for example, in the construction and manufacturing sectors. People should not enter or leave Tier 4 areas, and Tier 4 residents must not stay overnight away from home. Individuals can only meet one person from another household in an outdoor public space. Unlike the November national restrictions, communal worship can continue to take place in Tier 4 areas, and these measures will take effect from tomorrow morning. All tiers will continue to be regularly reviewed in line with the approach previously set out, with the next formal review taking place on the 30th of December. Second, we're issuing new advice on travel. Although the new variant is concentrated in Tier 4 areas, it is nonetheless present at lower levels around the country. So we're asking everyone in all tiers to stay local. People should carefully consider whether they need to travel abroad, and they should follow the rules in their tier. Those in Tier 4 areas will not be permitted to travel abroad, apart from limited exceptions such as for work purposes. Third, we must, I'm afraid, look again at Christmas. And as Prime Minister, it's my duty to take difficult decisions, to do what is right to protect the people of this country. Given the early evidence we have on this new variant of the virus, the potential risk it poses, it is with a very heavy heart, I must tell you, we cannot continue with Christmas as planned. In England, those living in Tier 4 areas should not mix with anyone outside their own household at Christmas, though support bubbles will remain in place for those at particular risk of loneliness or isolation. Across the rest of the country, the Christmas rules allowing up to 3 households to meet will now be limited to Christmas Day only, rather than the 5 days as previously set out.
Well, we've heard enough of that, haven't we? We know exactly what happened today. I'm not going to play the whole lot of it, but, you know, I just wanted to play you that much of it, just, you know, so we can establish exactly what was said. And I'm not accused of spreading any misinformation, okay? So we've heard exactly what's going to happen, okay? So basically, for those outside of the UK, okay, the Tier 4 that's been introduced in London, huge parts of the South East and East, is effectively the full national lockdown measures that we had in November, okay, and March, you know, the other lockdowns. So just on the run up to Christmas in London, the biggest city in the UK, the retail sector decimated, okay? The hospitality sector decimated, okay? But, you know, now London, you see, is getting a bit of a taste now, because it's the first time in all of this that London's been in a worse situation than the North. You know, you're getting a taste now in London and the South East and East of England of what it's been like up here for months, okay? But don't worry, guys, because it's quite clear that this pathetic, disgusting excuse for a government have utter contempt for the north of England. And as I said in the previous videos, in yesterday's video, should I say, I would not be surprised one little bit, guys, in London and the East and the South East. Don't worry, I wouldn't be surprised if we see another announcement on Christmas Eve and find out that lots of the North are going into tier 4 to join you, okay? Just to absolutely do the worst thing that they possibly could do to the north. Yeah, I wouldn't. Don't rule it out, guys down there, because the way that this whole thing has gone from the start. That's what's been going on. Okay, so let's not forget that. Okay, I know. Don't get me wrong, guys in the south. I lived in London for 18 years. It's a brilliant, fantastic city. It's great, you know what I mean? But I'm also aware that when you live in London, you are to a certain extent in a bubble of what's going on in London. And there's probably a lot of people in London and the southeast that have no idea what it's been like in the north of England for the last 6-7 months. Okay, like I said, my area where I live, we've been in effectively a tier 3 lockdown since July. Okay, since July, and the draconian enforcement of all these rules and stuff. You're probably going to start seeing this now down there. So I'm telling you, we are heading into a national lockdown, aren't we? And even to bolster that idea even further, what have we seen since Johnson made that announcement? We've seen Drakeford, that big political heavyweight, Mark Drakeford. What's he gone and done? He's brought Wales's lockdown in line with London's, and they're going into the tier 4 from tonight, aren't they? Okay, what's Sturgeon done? Okay, what's she done? Banned people in Scotland travelling to any other part of the UK, hasn't she? So we're going into a national lockdown, aren't we? Let's just stop swallowing this propaganda that's been going, on overdrive in the last few days in the media about, Christmas won't be cancelled. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, what we just saw in that. For the rest of us, this 5 days of Christmas that's been cancelled for you lot in tier 4, we're only allowed to do it for 1 day now. Okay, I mean, it's just unbelievable. I could see this coming a mile off, and I can see another national lockdown coming a mile off. Okay, so why don't they just get over and get it done? You know what I mean? I'm sick and tired of it now. I know you're going to do it, so just bloody do it, okay? Because this is where we're at, people. I don't get me wrong. I'm just had enough of all this propaganda, and it's not like I want to be locked down or anything, but I can see they're going to do it. So why don't they just get on and do it, as opposed to messing around and filling, trying to put all this propaganda out there. It's not going to happen when it's quite clear that it is, isn't it? Okay, so, don't try and kid us that you're not going to put us into a national lockdown, because we only have to look at the evidence around us, okay? We just talked about what Scotland and Wales have done. Northern Ireland are already going into a 6-week national lockdown on Boxing Day. Germany's gone into one. Holland's gone into one. Czech Republic's gone into one. Italy have announced now that they're going into one. Okay, so let's just not kid ourselves. We are going into another national lockdown, aren't we? And this pathetic excuse of a government don't even have the guts to tell us that that's what they're going to do. They want to sort of like play little stupid games with us and try and make us believe that things aren't happening when they are. When are people going to start waking up to what's going on here? Because, like I said all along, people seriously need to start thinking about what on earth is going on, because we have a government that have put down some of the most draconian measures that I never thought that I would see in my life. And this has been going on for months, and it's getting tougher, isn't it? So there's going to be more draconian measures to come, okay? This lot are not happy unless we're all under effective house arrest, okay? I'm telling you, this is just the way it's going. We're on that path, and they are hell-bent on keeping us on that path, okay? Because, we've got this new variant now out there that's accounting for these huge numbers of cases. He said on that they've only found out about that this week, but I had Sky News on when I got home, and it was saying on Sky News that they've known about this since last weekend. So if they've known about this since last weekend, it should show you the propaganda that they've been putting out. Because if they knew about it last weekend and they knew that they were going to do this, don't you understand now why in the media for the last few days we started to see articles about, is Christmas in jeopardy? They knew they were going to do this, okay? That's why they've been feeding those stories into the media. And that's why we're heading into another national lockdown, okay? So, you know, I can't believe, I honestly thought at the end of November, at the start of December, when we came out of the second national lockdown, I called January, didn't I? But I'm telling you now, I'm expecting another announcement in the next few days. And if not in the next few days, definitely when this gets reviewed, okay, which is what, a fortnight, yeah, so what's that, the 30th of December or something? I'm telling you, we are going into another national lockdown. But I'm really will not be surprised at all if we are told, the rest of us in Tier 3, that we're going into Tier 4 in the next few days, okay? Do not be surprised, okay? Because you cannot trust a word this lot say, okay? How many times have we heard in all of this, oh, we're not going into a national lockdown, boom, you're in a national lockdown. Definitely not going into another one, boom, you're in another one. You know, you cannot trust these people, because these people have a hell of a lot of questions to answer about lots and lots and lots of things in all of this, okay? And we only have to look at the way these people have behaved, okay? We don't need to say more than that, really, do we? Because we've talked about a lot of things that they've been involved in the last few videos, haven't we? Okay, so, you know, here we are on Saturday night, and, you know, for all those people in Tier 4 areas, I'm really sorry your Christmas has been ruined, you know, but this is where we're at, people. This is where we're at. And it's, as I've said all along, it's about time people started waking up to what the hell's going on in all of this, and our disgraceful government and the opposition, their roles in all of this, okay? So if you've enjoyed this video and you want to see more, then please like and subscribe to the channel, and once you do, please ring the notification bell so I can inform you guys of future videos and installments of Arno TV that I'm going to put out, okay? And there's going to be a hell of a lot more coming, okay? So try and enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening, guys, especially you guys in Tier 4 areas. Have a beer or something, because you bloody deserve one. You know, especially with this shower of a disgrace of a government, you know, ruining your Christmas like that. I don't know. It's just unbelievable, isn't it, where we're at? So I'll be back soon with some more videos for you. Until I am, you guys take care of yourselves, your friends, your family, and your loved ones. Check in on people you don't live with. I'll be back soon. Please stay rock and roll, and take care, guys. And also, thanks so much for watching Arno TV.